Hello again, welcome back to my channel. Doing another video here on Quicken Classic for Windows. Gonna go over in this video the filtering functions for the account registers and how they can help you do things a little quicker or solve problems a little quicker and a few other things. But before that, I want to tell you about my newly significantly updated personal finance course. It's called Personal Finance Mastery. If you're looking for more advanced Quicken tutorials, stuff that's not on my YouTube, but you're also looking to understand how personal finance just works in general and how you can master your personal finances and get ahead more quickly, managing your finances from a bookkeeping point of view, from investing your money to growing your income either at work or with side hustles. And also from the point of view of tax efficiency, you should check out the link below. I cover it all, and I believe it's like the easiest, quickest way to understand what personal finance is and how to attack it. So check it out. Okay, this is really what I want to show you. So I'm right here in a checking account, but also this works for credit card accounts as well. This feature doesn't exist in your brokerage accounts, which is too bad because sometimes it would be helpful. But primarily it exists in like a checking or savings or credit card or even a liability account or an asset account. And the filters I'm talking about are right up here. We have a few different types of filters. One where you can just type in a word and it will filter down transactions if this term is anywhere in the payee or the memo or the tag or even let me point this out. Because none of these accounts are connected to the bank, there is no downloaded payee. But over here in your register options, if your bank account is connected, you will see downloaded payee. That is the digital download data that comes through with each transaction. So if this was a connected account, this word would also search the downloaded payee. So where this, this definitely comes in handy when you're setting up Quicken for the first time and you've downloaded lots of transactions and you're trying to categorize them and you're trying to do it, as quickly as possible. Because if you were to say, look up paychecks, right, and that was a word that was coming through your downloaded payee, you could then click on one, shift click, right click, and assign category. So that's an example of how this filtering could be helpful. Now, but there's more filters here that can also be helpful. A lot of times, again, they're helpful when you're doing a setup, but if you're also trying to figure out like what's wrong, or if if something seems off, or if you're missing a transaction, or you're like, oh, I really wish I hadn't, categorized all the things for XYZ to this category. I want to change them. You could look them all up. Another way you can filter here is either by deposit or payment, aka deposit being credit, payment being debit. And that will filter by your transactions, money coming in or money going out. And that can sometimes be helpful. Like sometimes if I don't know, haven't updated for a while and I want to quickly get all my credit card transfers to the right account, I might go into each credit card and just quickly filter for deposit so I could see, the months of payments and then categorize them back to the right source account. Another option here is by date, and you can use date in a few ways. I usually use it in combination with one of the other things, but say for instance, I just didn't do downloading for a while. I downloaded for a couple months and I have a bunch of transactions piled in and I want to be able to do some filtering, but I don't really want it to filter, the whole history of the register. What I can do here is go custom date. I can go 1/1/25 to today. That will reduce down the amount of transactions in here to deal with. And then I could add on my word. So now I'm only looking at paychecks for 1/1/25 to today. I mean, and obviously you could do this just for the last month, last 30 days. If again you haven't downloaded in a little while and you downloading back to August, you can do that. And it just reduces the amount of stuff that you have to deal with in the register, and it makes it easier to find things, categorize things, and so on. Now, the last thing you can do over here for filtering is by, hold on, I'm going to get rid of all this, is by these options. So uncategorized, reconciled, unreconciled, cleared, uncleared, and flagged. So uncategorized is what it sounds like. If you loaded in a bunch of transactions, a bunch of them auto categorized correctly, and you were happy, but some of them were new, you could just filter by uncategorized and it would reduce everything down, and then you could just categorize them really quickly without having to sift through all the mess. Reconciled or unreconciled, I don't know how much I've talked about reconciling. I probably got to do a video on reconciling at some point, but when you reconcile, your status over here switches to reconcile. When you download a transaction, your status goes from uncleared to cleared. So I'm going to just force change the status here of a couple things. So when you're connected to the bank and it downloads, everything comes through as cleared. If you had put something in manually before the download, that would remain unreconciled or uncleared. So when I have this option on, I can filter for things that are not reconciled. I can filter for things that are just reconciled. I can filter for things that are just cleared, and I can filter for things that are uncleared. So that helps sometimes when you are trying to solve a balance problem or fix an issue and you're just like sleuthing around. The other way I use uncategorized is that in my credit card, most everything automatically categorizes. Is it always right? No. Unfortunately, the auto categorization is not perfect in Quicken, nor is it in QuickBooks. And I would say, 80% of the time it does it right. But you kind of got to look and find some errors and fix them. But with Amazon, because I go in and categorize my Amazon transactions like per the purchase, I have my rules set to anything that is Amazon.com, Amazon, AMZN Marketplace, anything like that. I have it set to go uncategorized. And then so the last step of updating my credit card, I will filter for uncategorized, and then I have all my Amazon charges ready to be categorized. And then I do go and look at my Amazon charges on Amazon, and then I categorize them correctly and I memo them, which a lot of people don't bother to go through that. I do, because Amazon's such a catch-all, and just to have, $15,000 or $20,000 of Amazon purchases at the end of the year, I'd rather know more because of business deductions, planning, and so on. I have a video on how I do that, and admittedly, it's a bit tedious, so get ready. So anyway, those are the filterings. Play with them, and pretty quickly you're going to see why they would be helpful in certain circumstances, and you can kind of incorporate them into your process when you do your monthly or semi-monthly or bi-monthly updating of your transactions. All right, see you in the next video. Thanks.